Beverly, in your work, you mentioned that the word empowering means a partnership between the client and the worker, and one of the tools that you mentioned is summarizing. Can you explain a little bit more about that tool?
In order to empower someone, I think, or for someone to be empowered, I think it helps them if they can organize how they approach something or how they think about something. Sometimes we have clients who have multiple problems, or and they will give us a whole list of problems that they've got. And what that tells me sometimes is that the reason they can't figure out how to solve the problem is they're overwhelmed with the numbers of problems that they've got. So one summarizing skill I might use, for example, is to have them rank order them. What's the top three? Or to put them, or to prioritize them so that they can get a handle on them. Or sometimes I'll hear people talk about lots of different things, but they're all around the same theme. Example, I hear a client say, I can't get my kids up in the morning. My kids are misbehaving. My kids are having difficulty in school. Well, what I hear is the theme is around children. So I try to pick up on the themes. Now again, the client may not hear that that's the theme that's there. They may be seeing it in isolated bits of pieces of information. So one of the things I can do if I hear the same, if I can listen for the theme underneath those two or three things they say, I can say to them, so it sounds like all the issues we're concerned about are around your kids. See, that helps that person be able to say, yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't hear myself say that. And then that gives them a way of that gives us a way of beginning to empower them to begin to solve what the problem is. So sometimes I need to have people learn how to summarize some things for themselves. So sometimes in an interview I'll say to a client, give me the 5 things you think we've agreed to do today. Well, that helps me figure out, did they understand what we agreed to do today? And to get us and to help them organize it in a way that they can get a handle on it. Now I can summarize it for them. I think that's a little bit less empowering, because sometimes what I'll get is people just nodding their heads and agreeing. I'm always interested to see, what did they understand that we agreed to? What do they think is going on? What do they think they're supposed to do so that they're better able to do it? Because empowering is a lot about people being able to do things for themselves rather than us do it for them. So if I'm making a plan with somebody, I'll ask them, go over with me all the things that you think, all the steps you plan to take, instead of my saying, here are the 5 steps you're going to take. See, I think it matters if people hear them. I think it helps people be able to do things if they can hear themselves say what it is they've agreed to do. So.
How can we assist the client in organizing their thoughts?
Well, I think we can ask clients some good questions that will help them organize their thoughts. For example, how would you prioritize? You've mentioned 6 problems you've got to solve. How would you prioritize them? What do you think are the 3 most important ones standing in the way of your goals? Or I could ask them to rank order them. Or sometimes if I hear people, rambling, I can stop and say, okay, let me make sure I understand. Here are the 3 things I heard. Here are the 3 things that I heard that you're concerned about. What that does is help them organize it themselves, because sometimes we don't think in organized fashion. I'll talk here, I'll talk here, I'll talk here. And then what I need is somebody to say, okay, to put those pieces together for me. Or sometimes I can say to the client, what are the 3 things you heard that we've agreed to do? So that I can see if they're understanding what I'm understanding. Because sometimes I'll go away, people won't do what I think they were supposed to do. I think they understood very clearly what the expectation was, but perhaps they didn't. So if I can get them to summarize themselves what they've understood that we've agreed to do, I'll get a better insight into how committed they are to it. Do they understand it? What are some of the issues that they're dealing with that are going to make this difficult? Part of what I'm trying to do with my skills is to minimize the number of problems I'm going to have down the road.